Hey guys, welcome back. In this video, I'll be showing you how to wrap your fairy doll with embroidery floss for the clothing. So we're dressing our doll. In step 1, I showed you how to twist the wire into a body. Step 2 was wrapping the doll with embroidery floss for the skin. And in this step, we'll be dressing our doll. So if you have your own fairy supplies and you're a seasoned fairy maker, I hope you find this helpful. If you would like to purchase a kit, there is a link below. These are brand new. It includes everything you need for fairy making. I hope you find this tutorial helpful. So we already have our twisted together doll that's been wrapped. I've got 2 that I'm going to show you. I'm also going to be showing you 2 different ways to style the top of the dress. And then, of course, we have our embroidery floss that we'll be using to dress our doll, a sharp pair of scissors, and my glue gun that I love set on low. I love using a dual temperature glue gun because it's just so much easier to work with the glue. Let's get started. The first step is to grab your doll, turn her so you're working on the back, take your glue gun and add a tiny dab of glue right at the base of her torso. And you only need the tiniest bit of glue, and then grab your thread, place that over the glue, and then I kind of flatten it down with my finger. And because I'm not using a high temperature glue gun, I can do this. And then grab your scissors, trim off the excess. Now we're going to start wrapping up to right underneath her arms in an even layer. So I work slowly, making sure that I'm wrapping that thread evenly and that the tension is staying the same because we want the thread to lay nice and smooth. And once again, I'm fighting with the hair. Kept getting in the way. You can see I'm just wrapping up in an even layer right to underneath her arms. So this is going to be a strapless top. So you would think it's pretty straightforward, but I do have a couple of tips for you. So when I get up to the very top, I make sure that I wrap around the very top a few times so the thread kind of comes up and over. Here's a close-up. And we want to get that thread as high as we possibly can underneath her arms. And I will turn her to the back and make sure that it looks good in the front and in the back. And then what I will do is I will take my glue gun and I will put a tiny dab of glue right at the top to hold that thread in place so it doesn't slide down. And I wrap around a few more times. And then you're going to wrap evenly back down to her waist. And once you get to the top of her legs, you are going to give her a little pair of shorts. And this is so we don't have a scandalous fairy. So I just wrap evenly down just a little bit, maybe not even 1/4 of an inch. I wrap evenly down and then I wrap back up and I take that thread right around the waist a couple times. And then I do the same thing on the other side. So we're just creating this little pair of shorts. Wrap back up around the waist a couple times. And then we're going to add another dab of glue on the back side of our doll because we want the front side to be nice and smooth. Add a tiny dab of glue. I wrap it around a couple times to make sure that that thread is nice and secure. And then I grab my scissors and I'm going to trim off the thread. And then I take my glue gun and I'm going to use the very tip of the glue gun to smooth that thread down so it doesn't poke out. And this is the first style of top that you can do for your fairy doll. For our next doll, we're going to be giving her a V-neck. So same thing, I turn my doll so I'm working on the back side of the doll. I put a small dab of glue down. I'm going to put that thread over the glue, trim off the excess. I use the tip of my glue gun if I need to smooth down the end of that thread so we don't have a big bump there. And then I'm going to wrap up to right underneath her arms, just like we did in the first style of clothing. So wrapping up evenly, and we're going to be giving her a V-neck top to her dress. So you can see I'm taking it up as close as I can right underneath her arms. And now I'm going to go from underneath one arm up and over the shoulder of the opposite arm. And I usually wrap it around 3 or 4 times. And then, so I go around once, twice, 3 times, take it around the center, and then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm starting on the opposite side, right underneath her arm, and I'm taking it up and over the other shoulder to create a V at the top of her dress. And I take it around 3 times, and then I wrap it around the center again. Now, depending on how thick you want the sleeves to be, you can stop here if you would like, or if you would like those sleeves to be a little bit thicker and have more of the thread showing up there, I will just go back and forth, making sure it's even on both sides. So I might wrap around 3 more times on one side. I go around the center once, and then I'm going to take it 3 or 4 more times around the other side. I just make sure I keep it nice and even until I have the look that I want. And now I'm going to take it around the center again, and I'm going to wrap down to the base of her torso. And you can see we have just this super cute V-neck top to her dress. Then I wrap down, and once again, because we don't want a scandalous fairy, we're going to give her a little pair of shorts. So I wrap down a little bit on one side evenly, wrap back up, I take it around the center, and then I go down on the other side. And then I take the thread around the center a couple times, add that little dab of glue, wrap the thread around a couple times, trim off the excess, and use the tip of the glue gun to smooth down that little piece of thread. And that's it. We have our second style for the top of your doll's dress. I would love to know in the comments below which one you like the best, and if you would also like to see more ways to style the top of your doll's dress. This was step 3 in my 6-part series that just breaks down the steps of fairy making in a lot more detail. If you enjoyed this tutorial, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please do. That would be amazing. If you have any comments or questions, please post those below. And if you would like to purchase a fairy kit, you can do that in my Etsy shop. I will put a link below. If you, once again, are a fairy maker that has been here for a long time, I hope you found this helpful. Thank you so much for all of your kind words and support, and we will see you in the next video.